a heart attack. Fast fatal heart impact. Past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and past. I back up my actions. Fact, don't ask, grab reactions. Jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused. Call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver juice. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kyusho here, and now, before we begin, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, quite a number of things have happened. We had Izuku, who he faced off against Havoc, and he attacked Havoc's army. Now, Havoc, he had robots aboard ships, he had airships, and he even had people who were willing to die for him. Deku faced off against all of them, and Havoc, he hit Deku with a quirk-destroying bullet. Afterwards, Deku chased Havoc into the spirit world. With a man, he closed both spirit wells and began the process of ripping the two realities apart. And Deku, in an attempt to stop him, he tried to use his spiritual bending. Now, Havoc, he did a bit of a cheap shot. He blasted off Deku's left arm, before trying to crush Deku with his spiritual form. Now, Havoc has left Karnok's body, and right now, he's going to the physical world. He is going to try and stomp it out. Stomp out humanity and see what does remain. And Deku, right now he is laying there, one hand up, trying to reopen the spirit wells and stop the tear between worlds from expanding. And Deku, he does just lay there in the spirit world, his vision blurry, his ears ringing, and his body is still somewhat in shock. His adrenaline is keeping him awake, but his arm, the area where it used to be, it stings and burns like hell. And Deku, he's holding up his hand, and right now, he can feel it. It is fighting against him. It is trying to expand. And Deku, he's both scared and worried. Karnok left the spirit world. He's back on the other side. He's in the north. Let me let Deku just think. As right now, he's holding up his hand. His eyes begin to glow. As Deku, he does stand and try to walk. Him going to get close to a portal. And right now, Deku, he feels the pressure being put on his body. His eyes are glowing, and right now he's in the avatar state. As Deku, he is going to bring up the metal arm and bring it up. Now, Deku brings the arm directly onto the spirit well. As whenever he does so, his body is completely get covered in spiritual energy, and the world is going to burst open. Deku being sent flying away before smashing backwards into the ground. Him just looking up. He finds it hard to focus. He reopened the southern well, but now he needs to get to the northern well. Deku trying to flip over and crawl. Now, as Deku does do this, he does go look directly at Karnok, hearing a tiny voice. Sorry. What is that? Help. Now, Deku, he turns towards Karnok. The man's eyes, they still look glazed over, but his mouth is moving. Karnok? The man's mouth freezing, and asking who that is. It's Izuku, the Avatar. You're still in there? Please, kill me. Kill me. Karnok, Havoc's gone. He's back in the world of the living, and he's gonna kill everyone. He's a monster. He's a monster. I shouldn't have trusted him. Karnak, listen. I gotta stop him. Whenever I get back here, I'll help you. Right now, he's threatening the lives of everyone I love. My mother, my father, your daughter. Koya? Yes, Koya. Deku holding out his hand and grabbing onto Karnak's. His hand is running cold, but he's still alive. How is that? Degu's not thinking for a minute. Is he stuck in his body? He understands the Avatar state, trapping Vaatu and Rava, but is his physical spirit trapped to his body? Can he not die? Now, Deku does have that thought, as he does once stumble to his feet and move forwards. Him with earthbending, flying forwards and moving to the northern well. Him reopening it. And we do actually have on the other side. Many waterbenders, they came here. And right now, they were concerned. The light all of a sudden faded in the distance. And then there was a rumbling sound. And there actually was a lot of people in the north. They were concerned. Koya, she was confused. Whenever that well turned off, she thought that Karnak, he may have succeeded. And she was worried. Her and many others, they immediately began the journey of going there. Koya was going to stay behind to defend. And right now, Luna, she actually is going there. Now, we do actually have from the lights due to blast back on. And right now, Karnak, he is standing there. Him looking down to see many people. As he does, I'm going to smile and talk about how the little earthlings underneath his boot, they will all either submit or die. Him going to bring back his leg, as many people, they do start to try and fight him. And the man, yeah. The Lord's Spirit does try to attack them. Get them to die. Right now he is toying with humans. And Luna, she actually is among the people here. But we do also have you. You, she used a air cycle. And she followed Deku. Right now, there is where she has come running through. And Deku, he's currently barely on his feet. Him holding a bleeding left arm as he's stumbling towards a tree. And right now, she's not even too sure if he's even conscious. He's just moving forwards. Why is that? And whenever Yuda's going to run over to him and grab onto his arm, Deku immediately does going to scream out in pain. You going to back away before looking down at it. Izuku, oh my god. You, the tree. Get me to the tree. Now, Yuda's going to grab onto Deku. Her going onto his right side and helping him get upwards into the tree. And whenever Deku is going to sit down, he does going to lean backwards. Him taking in a breath before telling her. He's going to try and face Havoc. If he does face him, he won't be here physically. Keep an eye on him. And Karnak, he's still alive out there. Koya's dad still alive? I don't know. Just listen. I'm gonna pass out soon. If I pass out, I need you to wake me up. If you need to, hit me. What? No, I can't. If I pass out, I'm probably going to die. My arm is laying outside. Hell, if you can, go freeze it. I don't know if it could be saved. Most of it that I saw, it was gone. It was bad. I don't think it can. But listen. Keep an eye on me. and make sure my heart is still beating. If I die in the Avatar state, it's over for all of us. Now, you just gonna nod. As Deku, he does gonna bring us down his right hand and begin to meditate. As right now, somebody that you go to appear directly in front of Deku. And you, as she was climbing out, she did a turn, going to see a man with long hair. And she was surprised. Her gonna turn back and look out. She needs to make sure that Karnak might still be alive. Check and see if he's okay. That would probably be the best option. But the hole above them, above the tree and in between these portals, how are they gonna fix that? Now, we actually are over in the Water Tribe, where Havoc, he is stomping down and having the time of his life. He was trapped in a human body for over a decade. And right now, smashing through ice and messing with humans this way, he is having the time of his life. He is having just pure sadistic entertainment right now. And many people, they are trying to avoid him and try and stay safe. And we do actually have where Deku, he is communicating with Avatar 1, I believe his name is. The first Avatar. And the man, he's trying to tell Deku, as Deku is going to look towards him, what he needs to do is be very careful. What he's going to do is going to be very dangerous. And if he can't do it right, then both spirits, they could be destroyed. Deku, he wants to try and astral project his spirit energy. He knows that Korra did it with Rava, but Deku wants to do it with Vatu and Rava. I mean, he's never heard of such a thing. Right now, Deku, if he does attempt it and it does fail, if he is damaged or destroyed, his body along with the Avatar states and the Avatar spirits, they will most likely be destroyed. And Deku does look towards Wan, him telling them that he does understand. As Deku's eyes do completely start to glow, before there actually is where Deku's spirit does separate from his body. And right now, Yuta's gonna turn, her watching a purple spirit walk from Deku. As Deku's gonna walk out, he does gonna look around, looking towards the north and bringing his hand up, as he's basically sucked through the portal. Now, there actually is Havoc. The portal is gonna reopen behind him, and right now he is gonna turn looking at it. And Deku, his spirit has come walking out. It reforming on the other side, as it does going to bend down, or go from bending down to going to look up. Him going to stand back up onto his feet. And right now Havoc, he does stare at Deku, as he does shout, "Why won't he just die?" Now, the spirit looks directly at Havoc, before looking back up, and spirit energy, it is flowing back around the world. And Havoc, he is annoyed, as the tear behind them both, it is still open. Deku's astral projection looking towards it and somewhat giving a look of disappointment. And right now, Havoc, he does get a smile, shouting out at the Avatar that he has failed to stop him. Negative energy will flow through that tear, and it won't be one he can fix. Now, Havoc, he is shouting all this, and Deku is going to step forwards. Him going to step forwards before rushing in. Him cocking back his right hand and throwing it outwards into a massive punch. And Havoc is sent flying backwards. Him smashing into the snow as he is going to try and stand back up. And right now Deku, he just going to bring his hands up, as purple tendrils do start to sprout from his arms. And Deku, he is going to bring up his hands, throwing one outwards forwards towards Havoc. Havoc feeling one wrap around his ankle, as Deku is going to Doki pull him backwards and throw him over his head. Havoc being thrown upwards into the air and smashing back down. As Deku, he does try to take Havoc for a ride. He does have an idea. If he can get Havoc back to that portal, Karnak can be used as a vessel. Karnak, from what he does understand, his body may already be dead, but his soul is still bound to it. And right now, bonding, Havoc to that body, it's the best option they have. And if they do bond him to the body, maybe they can trap him inside the tree. I mean, it will be an unfortunate fate, but Deku, he'd have to sacrifice a soul. One that doesn't deserve it. And he's not really too sure if he could do that. Now, Havoc is going to bring up his hands. Him directly trying to blast Deku, as Deku is going to bring up his own. Him bringing up his hand, as the blast does shoot directly around Deku's palm. And Deku does hold it upwards, before going to throw his left hand and blast his own. Now, Havoc is hit directly in the chest. Him smashing to the ground as Deku is going to step forwards again. Running forwards and going to stomp down at Havoc. Now, Havoc does feel the damage. And right now a ton of people are watching this. And there actually is Luna. Luna, she's staring up. The large spirits are fighting. And the ice, it's going to give. Now, that is what Deku, he's not concerned about. Right now he's concerned about Havoc. And Luna does get a shout. If they continue their fight here, the ice will give, and they'll fall into the Arctic. Now, Deku is going to turn looking at Luna. And Deku, whenever he does going to do that, Havoc is going to bring up his hand, smashing Deku with an uppercut before bringing up his other hand and hitting him directly in the gut, bringing his hands upwards towards Deku's face. And Deku, when that does happen, he's going to bring his hands up, smashing Havoc on the side of his own face. Before, Havoc, he's going to grab away at Deku, still trying to hold him. Deku cocking back his hand and punching Havoc again. Now, Havoc and Deku are in a bit of a fight. And right now, the two, they're trying to go blow for blow. The giant spiritual projections, they're certainly something. And right now, Deku, he's trying to do the right thing. Seal Havoc inside the spirit tree is an option. And then completely annihilating the spirit itself is another. I mean, annihilating the spirit, that will be harder to do. He has to wear it out, subdue it, but it sounds harder. Now, Deku, he does fight Havoc. And right now the two, their battle, it does wage on. As the astral lights, or the spirit lights, they're still raining overhead. The large version of Deku and Havoc fighting. And there actually is Havoc who does get to throw up his hand. Him attempting to blast down at the people on the ground. As Deku, he actually is going to bring down his own hand and pull up a large piece of the ice. Him blocking Havoc's ray, as he's going to throw out his own hand. The tendrils directly wrapping around Havoc's arm and upwards towards his shoulder. Deku going to directly pull it upwards, as Havoc, he does feel it begin to start straining. Bring up his other hand as Deku Doki is going to throw himself forwards with a large foot. Him smashing it into Havoc's chest, as Havoc does go flying backwards. And Deku, he actually is going to start pulling on the arm. Havoc jolting Deku's direction, as Deku is going to bring up his large leg and smash downwards into him. Deku just smashing him downwards over and over again into the ice. And right now, the ice is beginning to start breaking. As Havoc, he does smash through it, and Deku, his foot, does go down into it. Deku going to directly turn and grab onto the ice that's right there. Him trying to stay afloat. And right now, Havoc, he actually is having fun. As whenever he does go to grab onto the Avatar's leg, he does make sure to hold onto it. Before Deku, he does look down and get blasted directly by a large beam. Him upwards into the air, as he does smash into a mountain. Now, there actually is back in the spirit world. Yushi is watching out for Deku, her turning and seeing him. He's still meditating. And right now she has to look back outside. The man on the ground. She needs to check on him, but her going down towards Deku, deciding that if he does die, the world might basically end. Her gonna check his pulse. Come on. Izuku, if you can hear me, you've got this. Now, there is back towards Deku, who after slumping against the mountain, he is gonna look up towards Havoc. The large tattoo of Rava and Vato on his chest begin to charge up. And right now, after Havoc is come charging forwards and Doki going to kick his legs at Deku, Deku does a break through the entire mountain. The two flying backwards as Deku does try to throw out his hands. Him grabbing onto Havoc's leg, as Havoc, he does actually try and bring it upwards to smash back down. However, Deku is holding it upwards into the air. Before Havoc, he does realize what Deku's doing. The large tattoo charging up before blasting a purple beam directly into Havoc's entire body. Now, Havoc does take the brunt of this blast, before somewhat going to throw himself downwards onto the ground and cock back his hand, him smashing downwards into the ice to try and destroy Deku's face. Deku dodging with his head, and then going to actually bring up his legs, before grabbing Havoc's arm. Deku grabs Havoc's arm and smashes him directly into the elbow, before with his legs, going to try and wrap them around one of his own legs and force him with weight in his gut downwards onto the ground. Now, Havoc is surprised by this. The weight of his leg, it shifted. It went smashing onto the ground, and then there was one for Deku to just go to rock his body backwards and grab onto his waist with his legs. Havoc smashing downwards as Deku actually is going to bring his hands upwards and shift his entire body, almost rocking the entire weight of his body onto Havoc. And Havoc actually have to dodge the blow that has come to his head. As whenever Deku does smash him with his left hand, he's going to pull back his right, him directly smashing Havoc across the face. Now, Havoc is somewhat amused by this, before just going to bring up and shift his hands and blast with his palms spirit energy into Deku. Deku being sent flying upwards into the air. Now, this fight, it is a spectacular one. And there actually is the army. The army that was heading south. They found the boats and everything. And there actually was the fact that they sent one up to the north. And what they're getting reports of, it sounds unreal. But then there's what they're seeing, and what somebody is actually documenting in real time. The large spirits are fighting. I mean, one is the Avatar. Now, speaking of the Avatar, we do actually have the copy of Deku that took part in taking down All for One. Right now he's heading up north, and he is shocked to see a few things. As directly on the airship he's in is Bakugo, Todoroki, and Momo, along with, let's even say, Endeavor. Now, this Deku, he's alarmed by what he is hearing and seeing. As whenever he does hear about how there's a tear in the world, he does go to Toki run outside and leap off the airship, him going to fly in. Now, as that does happen, this Deku, he is concerned, as right now he is going to Doki fly past the battle, and whenever he does, Havoc, he is going to turn his head, him seeing that Deku fly towards the portal. And right now he is angry. He thought that that copy died against All for One. However, clearly he didn't. Him shouting out for him to get back here, as it's going to directly try and go after him. And Deku is going to throw out his left hand, as tendrils do directly go to wrap around Havoc's neck. Havoc going to directly grab up with him, as Deku, he actually has to pull Havoc backwards and into the ground. Now, Havoc is alarmed, as Deku is going to bring his right arm up and around Havoc's neck, grabbing him and going to wrap his legs around his torso, bringing his left arm upwards and holding onto Havoc. Him holding him in a bit of a lock, or a headlock. And right now Havoc, he is annoyed. Now, Deku, he's squeezing down hard. And right now, he is charging with Blast. What he's trying to do is hoping this Blast can actually destroy Havoc. Kill him, in fact. And right now, the giant version of Deku, he actually does try to pull in more spiritual energy. Him shifting his hand as upwards towards the lights, the energy does start to gather. It being pulled downwards as Deku's hand is glowing. Now, Havoc, he does see that. And right now, he actually does so much to just scream out. As this version of Deku, he does get to directly blast the chest beam right in Havoc's back. And the beam, it finds a way to escape, tearing through Havoc's torso. And right now, after that is done, Havoc, his body does start to somewhat disappear. It's beginning to just turn into dust. And Havoc, he does just lay there for a second. As Deku, he does get a directly turn. Him pushing Havoc's massive corpse off of him. And the spirit, it is dematerializing. Before Deku is going to turn and bring up his hand. Now, the airship, they are watching this. As Deku, he does directly go to fade into the lights. And right now, there is back in the spirit worlds, where Deku, he does directly collapse backwards back in his body. And right now, you just going to ask him if he's okay. Her sliding down the giant tree. Huh? I'm okay. I'm okay. Havoc. I got him. I got him. I got him. But the thing in the sky. I know. Hang on. We need to get out of here. You gonna grab Deku and get him onto his feet. Deku, he feels worn. His body hurts all over. And this feeling he does have, it's immense. Now, there actually is, after Deku and you do come walking out of the Northern Spirit Well. And whenever they do so, you just gotta turn her head, watching as Deku, he's trying to seal the tear? What the hell? Oh, shit. Am I okay? What? Right. You're a thing. I forgot. Yeah. Is he alright? What happened to him? Havoc happened. Haran? Yeah. Are you gonna be able to handle that? I don't know. I'm trying to feel for it, but I can't. The spirit energy, it's around here. I can feel that. But bending it, I can't get a good track on it. Now, Deku is going to turn his head. Him going to whisper something as Yuda's going to turn her own head. And Deku, he actually does try and stabilize his footing. Him going to try and step forwards, off of you. And whenever Deku, he does going to directly look towards himself, he does going to tell him, right now, he does need to focus. Deku bring up his right hand. And the other version of Deku bring up his left. Focus on what? Go into the avatar state. And just hold on to me. Okay? Feel what I'm feeling. Bend what I bent. Honestly, all of this, it should work out. It should work. Dude, don't push yourself. Just tell me what to do. I have plenty of energy left. You're worn to high hell. Besides, what was that? Listen, just follow my lead. You don't know enough about it as I do. Now, Deku's eyes do start to glow. And right now the copy, he does listen. And the two, they do try to somewhat seal this hole in reality. However, yeah, not much can really be done. What they try to do is stop it from spreading. And right now, it does stop what it was doing. And whenever Deku he does try to somewhat close it up, it does start to at least close, but it does stop at a certain point. And Deku, he does have his concerns. Right now, Haran, he still did succeed. He wanted to tear a hole between worlds, and the hole does still remain. But there's another thing. Deku's going to stumble backwards and into the snow. As he does look around, there are spirits all around him. He can see them. They're here in the living world. And Deku, he does a comment on that. As his copy, he does get to reach down. Deku passing out. And right now, Deku, he does awaken. Him jumping up and looking around as he's alive. Oh, God. What's going on? You're awake. Deku turning. You're here. Yeah. Do you remember everything? What? Do you remember everything? I mean, with Haran or Karnak. That whole thing's confusing to me. I'm assuming that you have the details. I do. But hang on a minute. Deku trying to bring up his left hand. And the moment he does realize that it's gone. His arm. It's... Yeah. I don't know what happened there. But it's, I don't think that's coming back. Right. Deku's staring down at it. He actually lost an arm. That wasn't some sort of nightmare. That was real. So, how many died? It's hard to pinpoint. In the brief amount of time that Havoc had the portals closed, the world experienced a lot. It shook violently. Earthquakes, tsunamis, storms. I mean, they all disappeared once the portals were opened, but the earthquakes, they didn't stop. Some tsunamis, they enveloped the land, and a lot of people died. It's not known right now, but the death toll, it could be millions. God. Don't blame yourself. How can I not? Karnak took away my quirk. He did? Yes. He did. He shot me with a fucking quirk destroyer. And right now, I mean, look at me. Look at me. I'm supposed to be the Avatar. I couldn't save anyone. You saved hundreds of thousands. Billions, in fact. Deku turning. What do you know? What do I know? I've been given the same responsibility as you for the last 2 years. I'm you. Remember? Just a little bit different. Besides, I think it's about time I go. My usefulness is at an end. I've been around for too long anyways. Glad I could help you, Avatar. But I think this is time where we part ways. Don't you agree? Besides, I thought you'd at least want to talk to me. Actually meet me. I've been curious about you. And hearing you complain. All of our life, you wanted to be this. Have a journey to save the world. Well, guess what? You just saved the fucking world, Izuku. I guess you don't hear about the full story, do you? What are you talking about? You saved the entire world, Izuku. Billions are alive because of you. Havoc is dead. Miss Spirit's destroyed. And right now, people are still alive. You're focusing on the dead. Well, let me put things into perspective for you, hero. Saving the world usually does come with a cost. And right now the cost is potentially millions of people being dead. There is the unseen bullshit you don't hear about in the story. Fuck you. Oh, trust me, I'm sure you would. You don't want to hear me say the real truth? Everything? I mean, what was it? My memory extends to Koya. And apparently you're with you and Luna? When did that happen? I mean, I know you and Luna started going through some strange shit, dude. But you never told me about them. That's different. They're new? Let me guess. You didn't think I should know that information because I'm not you. That's not what I was going to say. What were you going to say then? Because what it sounded like you were going to say is somebody knocking on the door. And right now, the Avatar is going to turn. Him walking over and opening it. Hey, Momo. Can I come in? Sure you can. Hell. I can't get things through his fucking skull. Maybe you can. Her walking inside. As right now Deku is going to turn. Him looking at Momo. The girl with the eye patch. Her name was Momo. That's her, right? Can I speak to you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. Havoc. Karnak. He messed with my head. That's not what I'm here for. What are you here for then, Momo? If you don't want an apology, are you gonna try and kill me? Is that it? That's not why I'm here. I may have tried to kill you at the USJ, but I'm not here to kill you now. In fact, I'm here to ask a question. And what would that be? Do you regret it? Do I regret it? Yes, Momo, I do. I'm sorry I killed your friends. I'm sorry I thought I was doing the right thing. I'm sorry a monster got its hooks in me and made me doubt everything I think. I have a lot of blood on my hands, and if I could take it back, I would. If I could murder Havoc again, I'd make it painful. I'd make it 1,000 times more violent. Trap him in his own personal hell if I could. But he needed to be destroyed. I could have trapped him into a tree, but I can't. Knowing he could get out, knowing that he could manipulate souls, spirits, humans again. It wasn't an option. I'm sorry. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you. Momo turning to the counterpart, asking him if his business is done. It is. But his business isn't. He has still got a lot to deal with. Okay? But you, do you finally want to disappear? I do. Let's get this over with. Now, Deku is confused, as his counterpart is going to walk away with Momo. And right now, Deku, he tries to think about that. Before Koya and the girls to come into the room. And right now, a lot is going on. The world is trying to recover. For the brief few minutes Havoc had those portals closed, the world was swept in destruction. The world shook violently. And it went completely crazy. And as the days do go by, the death toll continues to rise. People being accounted for, and people not being accounted for. And right now, the people who are still alive, they are surprised. A total of 15% of the world was swept in destruction. And more than 20% of humanity, they may have been killed by spirits, or even just this destruction entirely. And Deku is alarmed by it. Humanity is still here, but a fifth of it was gone. And while he did fulfill his goal as the Avatar of keeping the peace, bringing back balance, many people are still concerned by what this does mean. Deku, he's looked at it a bit more positively. However, there is still the fact that Havoc, he gained the upper hand on Deku. Deku, he currently does stand in front of a podium, as he does begin to start addressing the world. Hello everyone, my name is Izuka Midoriya. I'm sure many of you do know me, and many of you in the last few months have all been recovering from the destruction. Now, I do wish to address many things I will talk about today, and understand and hear what you all have to say. I fought Havoc. Karnak, he was a man possessed by a spirit, and the spirit led an organization who wished for the destruction of humanity. Now, a few months back, the destruction, it was almost there. Me and my friends, we tried our best. I fought Havoc, and I myself took on much damage. Deku holding up his prosthetic arm, expressing to all of them. Havoc, he closed the spirit well, and in those brief few minutes the well was closed, about a third of humanity in total was under siege by nature, and by exactly the repercussions of all that force harmonic convergence had, not being properly conducted. Now, a few people do look around, and Deku, he does continue. He does understand their fears and their worries. However, he is here to address many of them. He wants all of them to know the next harmonic convergence will not be for until 10,000 years since the last one. However, with what he has done, the spirit world and human world, their ties will begin to heal. Everything that's happening in between the worlds right now, it will go back to normal. Yes, spirits and humans can now coexist. And yes, humans, they should be encouraged to learn more about the spirits. They inhabit similar spaces, and they actually sometimes do inhabit the same space as well. He wants them all to know. everything that they think they may know about spirits could be wrong. He wants to encourage them to know this, and he does want them to understand. He will take responsibility for what he has done. He understands many people still do not like him. However, he is here today to announce he wants to try and reform the White Lotus. He wants to try and make the organization correct again. He wants them to be on the right path for the next avatar. And he does want many people to understand as well. The White Lotus, they had much control in his life, but he wishes to do things properly. These people need to know. The avatar, he may be somebody who can save the world, but the avatar is still a person, and they will be treated as such. And while many people may not like what he is saying, they don't even have to agree with him. He wishes for people who would all like to talk, all like to discuss, all like to debate. He encourages them to join. He wants all of them to know. The next avatar after him, the White Lotus, will be involved in their life. However, not to the same extreme as the White Lotus was involved in his. From the very day he found out he was the Avatar, the White Lotus, they wanted him to train in combat. They wanted him to do much. And while that did benefit the world in the end, Deku, he didn't really know right from wrong. All he knew was what he was told. And he just listened to every word he was told. And that is what made him easy pickings for, well, Havoc to manipulate. Now, a few people do listen to Deku, as right now he does got a directly turn and address. Right now he will hand things off to the Fire Lord, and he will actually be talking. He mentioned himself that he would like to join the White Lotus, and that he would actually like to talk a bit more about this. Now, the Fire Lord would go to somewhat step up, as Deku does get out of the man's way. Him expressing, he has spoken to the Avatar, and he does believe the Avatar, he actually is trying to do better, do the right thing. He understands that many people do have concerns, especially after it had come to light that he was responsible for the destruction of the White Lotus. Now, a few people, they all are looking around each other. The Avatar destroyed the White Lotus, and he wants to bring them back? That doesn't sound right. Now, the Fire Lord will continue, expressing to everybody, if it was not for the Avatar, none of them would be standing here today. And many of them, they may not even be alive. They all do need to understand. The Avatar is still a human. And if anyone else was in his position, always being told what to do, never knowing what to do on your own, how many of them would say they wouldn't listen to somebody who is offering them something they've never had before? Now, a lot of people, they're looking around each other. And they're actually, Deku is going to walk back over and going to sit down. Him turning towards Koya and asking if she heard everything. I could hear it fine from over here. But just take a look over there. Deku turning his head and seeing that Luna, she's speaking with the Fire Lord's daughter. And it's almost, what the hell? No way. Right? I mean, are they doubles or are they twins? Wait, hang on. Luna's the one on the right, right? Isuku, they're wearing different outfits. You know what Luna came in. I know, I'm just messing with you. Besides, the Fire Lord's daughter doesn't have the, you know. Yeah, how about you not comment on that? She's kind of... Right. Now, Deku does ask Koya, how does she feel? Well, considering everything and all of what's been going on, I've been a little stressed. Koya, stress isn't good for the baby. I know, Izuku. Besides, I mean, you need to talk to Luna about that. She's over there talking to her sister and meeting her after the world almost ended. Yeah, that is true. So, do you know where Yu is? You went to go get her parents. Her parents are here? Yeah, yeah. She wanted you to meet them. Oh god, they heard everything I said. They're airbenders. Okay, that makes this a little less awkward. Hmm? Well, considering the fact that she's the only one of us that doesn't have a butt in the oven, I'd say hindsight's 50-50. Koya, okay, I get it. Besides, you're just don't finish that sentence. Never mind. Good. So, about everything that's been going on, I thought a lot about my dad. You did? Yeah, yeah. Mom said he was properly buried. That's good. He was a good man, in the end at least. Izuku, he kept begging for forgiveness. I mean, he was so weak in the end. He. Yeah, I know, Koya. Listen, just. He received a burial. He was begging for forgiveness whenever he was dying. And, well, at least he died in the water tribe, not in the spirit worlds. He lasted long enough to say what he needed to say. And while you may not have forgiven him, I'd say you at least know it it wasn't him who did it. I know, but I just keep thinking about it. I mean, he was Haran whenever he was still my dad. Yeah, that is true. But he died a good man. Well, a better person. And all that money, all that resources, all of it's gonna help people now. The weapons are gone, all of it. Yeah, yeah. But I'm still trying to think. A boy or a girl? Honestly, I'd say a boy. See, I was hoping for a girl. Now, you just come walking over. As Orish does so, Deku, he does gonna look up, seeing the two air nomads as he's gonna somewhat bend down, and at least express that he is happy to meet them. My, you really have grown. Excuse me? Do I know you? You do not remember me, Izuku. No, no, I don't believe I do. Did I almost murder you once? No, no. Well, you didn't. Oh, thank God. Yes. I see that you're, busy. Um, yeah, sorry about that. It's nice to meet you, sir, but you say you know me. Yes, you trained at the temple I was a mentor at whenever you were a child. I believe that you mentored under a friend of mine. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Were you that one teacher The one who... Um, I'm trying to think. You kept saying I should get my tattoos. Yes, I was. I'm glad to know that you do somewhat remember me. It's hard to forget. I mean, I was scared thinking about doing that whenever I was a kid. Yes, well, that clearly didn't stop you now. Yes, well, I don't believe that I'm fit to wear those tattoos, sir. I see. Now, Deku, he doesn't look towards Yu's mother. And the woman, she does this go to somewhat nod her head and expressing to Deku. Being a fighter is part of who he is. And while he can strive for peace, the tattoos, they don't exactly mean they are peaceful. They will fight if they do need to. And if the act is required, they will take life. Right. Uh, But it was just that after everything that I've done, even though I've fully mastered airbending, I don't believe that I should. They're sacred, and I don't believe I can. We understand. Now, Luna will go to run back over. Deku turning his head, and somewhat going to bring his hands up. Hey, Luna, slow down. Sorry, yeah, so, a lot's going on, and apparently, she might actually be my twin. Might be your twin? I'd be more shocked if she wasn't, Luna. Okay, but we're gonna try and test everything and figure it out, but the Fire Lord might be my dad. Yeah. Well, that's quite the development. Yes, this is Luna. My, other significant other. Right. It is a pleasure to meet you. Now, the awkward situation does somewhat go to continue. And right now, there actually is Deku. Deku, it might take him a long time, but he will go through the process of reforging and remaking the White Lotus, giving it new guidelines, and giving them better rules to follow and understand. Because he does hope the next avatar, the next one to exist, they will follow and continue with these guidelines. They will understand and know more. I mean, the White Lotus, they messed him up pretty well as a kid, and he was easy to manipulate. He's hoping his next life won't be that way either. And Deku, he does get a somewhat smile. Him thinking about a lot. And right now, he's happy. I mean, after everything that's happened, the world is back to peace. And while that tear in reality might still exist, it will close someday. That's really all they can hope for. And spirit bending it, that might hurt it more. Now, we do actually have the next avatar, who they do go to walk into the temple. And right now they do somewhat sit down and meditate, going to look up towards the statue and seeing the man with the beard. It's strange. That used to be him. There's a lot to live up to. I mean, he saved the world. He did so much. His life, he spent so much of it. Someone putting a hand on his shoulder. Young Avatar, are you alright? Yes, it's just, there's so much to live up to. So many different stories here. Correct, correct. Please come with us. We must teach you everything you need to know. Um, who might you be? Oh, yes. I will be your current instructor. We will be spending time here at the temple. I understand that this is where you do live. Yes. But can I meditate here for a minute? You may. please go ahead. Now, the avatar are going to walk inside and going to sit down, as right now they do have a few questions. Now then, I do hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing day. Now, this series, I'm finally glad to say, is over. And I understand it was very long and it's been going on for a long time. But I did want to give you guys a story that you would enjoy and actually listen to, since it would be more unique. Anyway, guys, that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.